Record. Good morning, and welcome everyone to the Women's Coffee Club. We created this club to provide a safe space for women to share and inspire each other and to learn from a different presenter each week. And this morning, we're so fortunate to have my good friend Sue Simon presenting about home decoration. She is so nice. She used to live in San Diego, in the San Diego area in Carlsbad. And when I was remodeling my kitchen, I invited her. She came and gave me some very good ideas and helped me with the paint choices. You have no idea how many colors there are. But anyway, Sue, she's asked a lot of questions. She didn't just assume and tell me what to choose. She actually asked me questions. It's based on what I like, not based on what she likes. So with that, Sue, appreciate you this morning for presenting this to all of us here. And if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about yourself and then why, home design. Why
Okay,
this topic?
sure. I have had my business for, I'm right at 20 years now. I actually was a psychologist before that. And I did a midlife career change because I wanted a more flexible schedule. And I love both fields and I still do. And so you're going to see that in my presentation. How psychology plays into it. If anyone were to ask me which degree is more valuable for interior design or psychology, 100% psychology, all the way, because I am dealing with people's most personal spaces and I'm spending their hard-earned money. And I better understand people or I'm not going to have happy clients. And that is why I do ask a lot of questions. I want to make sure that space is really what my clients want and hopefully exceeds any expectations they have. That's always my goal. But it's really important to take the time up front to ask a lot of questions so that the end result is a space that my clients feel really good about and really happy to come home to. It's overused, but I do want their homes to be their little havens at the end of those crazy busy days and a place where they can just decompress and feel good. So we're going to be talking about that, the kind of the heart and soul of design and how it does impact us. So if you don't mind, I will share my screen. I've got a little PowerPoint.
Let me allow you to share. Hang on a second here. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, so I like I say, I really believe in decorating for the heart and the soul. It takes both. Having a beautiful space is one thing, but if that space isn't your space, it doesn't reflect who you are, then it's just a show space. It's not your space. And it's just super important to, I say, have that zone to reflect and just feel you. It's becoming a big field in decor, finally, that psychology matters. And there's a whole term, neuroaesthetics has become the new buzzword. And neuroaesthetics is, basically it's the study of how the neural basis of the brain contemplates the world around us, our environment. And that's not just visual, it's also music. So it's visual, auditory. Anything kind of in the arts falls into this category. And it's becoming a bigger and bigger focus for interior design. And I'm super excited about that because it should be, right? Our environments, all studies show our environments impact us. And I'm glad the design community is finally embracing this and using it in decor, right? It's so important. So we're going to talk a little bit about, I think, big three areas. We're gonna kind of break the presentation into the psychology of design, then we're going to get into color psychology, and then we're going to end it with two of our brave coffee club members. Amy and Lorraine sent me pictures of their spaces, and I kind of designed them. So we'll save the best for last. All right, so dopamine decor, it's a thing. It's funny. I've been talking about dopamine rushes in decor for a long time, and then in my local paper this weekend, there was a whole article on dopamine decor. I was cracking up. I'm like, look at that. So this dopamine, bright, bold colors can actually give a dopamine rush. So here's an example of a really, really bright, bright room. This is Black Pop. It's a studio. It's in London. And they make fabrics, really exceptional fabrics, and they're really bold colored and patterned and very lush. And this is their little showroom. This space just makes me happy. I see that, and my little neurotransmitters are lighting up and the dopamine's going, woo. It's just super fun. Now, for some people, they will see this space and go, ah, too much. That is too much. It overwhelms them. Because we're all different and we all process our environment differently. Some people would much prefer this room. So this bedroom, this serotonin decor is another term. It's not really a term, I just made it up, but it is serotonin is another of the neurotransmitters in our brain, and also serotonin's in our gut. And serotonin helps us feel calm and centered. And it's a mood stabilizer, serotonin, and it's only like 15% in our brain. It's actually more in our gut. So when you hear the term gut response, or I've got butterflies in my stomach, that's actually the serotonin in there, just like, woo, making you feel a certain way. And so for bedrooms, I really love using the more soothing colors because they are calm and they will release more serotonin, and that helps people sleep better. So that's why this room is so serene and calm with calmer tones. All right, so the other big term out there in the whole neuroaesthetics field is biophilia. This last year and this year, even if you don't know decor, you may have heard biophilia. It's become the go-to buzzword in design. And it's simply bringing the outdoors inside. I live in the Northwest, so we've been doing this always. We are all outdoor lovers here in the Northwest. So bringing the outdoors in is nothing new here, but apparently the rest of the world is catching on. So in this space, you can't see there's another giant window behind that sofa and a ton of plants. There's a lot of wood elements. There's a large living edge table in the dining room. That wall art is actually an antique wood piece. And then lots of light. So the big companies, Amazon, Google, Apple, they've all embraced biophilic design. All of their buildings have tons of windows and skylights. They're super well lit. They're bringing in live edge counters and desks and plants everywhere. Our local airport's getting remodeled, and there's going to be so many plants in there. People are going to think they walked into a jungle when they land in Portland. But it really does help people feel grounded when they're tied to the environment. So that's why it's become such a big field. You're going to see a little more of the biophilia as this progresses. All right, so that's kind of an introduction to the psychology behind design. Now we're going to drill down into color psychology. And this is going to require some audience participation because I want to know about what colors excite you, but I'm going to kind of go through the colors and talk about what they tend to say about you as a person. Nothing's 100%, but these are just what generally has been in various psychological studies, what's been found about the colors, how they elicit our responses, and how they kind of say a little bit about ourselves. So let's start with red, the most bold of colors. Red lovers love energy and power. They're very determined and very passionate. I think everyone associates red with passion and love. They're quick to protect others, and they like kind of being more in the center of attention. They're more of the extroverts, and they're your sexier folks out there. The negative of red lovers is they can be a little quick to anger, that whole passion thing. And here's a room I did where the client is a big red lover. And I'm never going to do a whole room in red because that would be so stimulating. It would be overwhelming, right? You don't want red everywhere. Like, whoa, your brain might explode. But the red brings the energy into this room. If you picture this room like with all white furniture, no pops of red, it would be very calm, very serene. You bring the red in and it brings an energy in. So a red lover just needs that energy to feel good in their space. Without it, they wouldn't have that little dopamine blast that they need. Okay, orange, closely associated with red, right next to it on the color wheel. Your orange lovers are your joyous, sunshiny, lovers of vacations and tropics kind of people. They're enthusiastic and creative, very determined. And I've never met an orange lover who's not super encouraging. Those are your go-to people when you're not feeling confident, need a little boost. Your orange lover will come in and they will boost you. They will make you feel great. The only negative of orange lovers, they tend to rush through things a little bit quickly. And if you think about the colors orange and red, you see them a lot in fast food restaurants. Corporate America embraced color psychology years ago, right? So they use orange and red because they're faster colors and they stimulate appetite. So they release dopamine and serotonin that stimulates appetite. Those colors do. And so fast food places, they want you to come in, they want you hungry, and they want you to leave. They want fast, they want hungry, they want you out of here so they can rotate a lot of people through. So a lot of the big fast food companies use orange and red. So next time you go to McDonald's or Wendy's, Taco Bell, you'll know why there's those colors. And I usually don't do orange in bedrooms, but this client, she loved traditional and she loved orange. She wanted orange in her bedroom, but for the sake of her husband and her marriage, I toned it down with some blue because too much orange can be too stimulating in a bedroom. So with the blue and some brown, we ramped it down so the energy wasn't so high that he could get some rest too. This client is a hoot. She can go all day long. She's, goes at 100 miles an hour all day. And then she said she just crashes at night and doesn't wake up. So she could have any color she wants in her bedroom, but her husband needed something a little less bold to balance the orange. Blue lovers, those are tend to be the intellectual thinkers, very sympathetic and authentic. These are your high integrity people, very trustworthy. You think of blue, you think of Mother Teresa, you think of Mother Nature with the sky. It's everything trustworthy and value spiritual. So those are kind of your go-to. When you need an honest opinion, you ask a blue lover because they'll be honest with you and and they'll be kind in the process. The negative about blue lovers is they can appear to be a little bit aloof because they tend to get lost in their thoughts. They're deep thinkers. And here is a blue accent room that I did for a client. And they also liked orange. So we put a little pop of orange in there. So you have a little energy from the orange, but the blues and the grays are the predominant colors. And it is a little more soothing. And, I mentioned the biophilic design before. This is a biophilic room for sure. We have some big plants. That console is all natural wood. So you've got that organic, earthy, and then a lot of light coming in through those ginormous windows in this ginormous house. So there's some blue. Yellow is probably the trickiest color to decorate with. But yellow lovers are very joyful, happy, energetic. They also love attention. They're very confident and they're super friendly. These are friendly, creative people. The reason yellow is tricky is because it can also elicit anxiety. And so when you do too much yellow in a space, it can make people that aren't yellow lovers feel anxious. So you don't want your company to feel anxious. So you don't want to do your whole house in yellow if you're a yellow lover. You can do the exterior in yellow all day long. Exterior yellow is fine, but inside you need to balance the yellow. So here, this yellow lover got some blue and gray to balance out her yellow. So she's happy because she has her yellow that makes her feel joyful. And it makes me feel joyful when I look at it. But then the rest of the space, the colors kind of balance it and keep it calm so her company doesn't run away going, ah, I'm so stressed. We don't want to elicit stress in our company. So there's yellow. Green lovers. All right. Green lovers. Well, in the Northwest, there's a lot of us. Green lovers and nature lovers. They love calm and tranquility. They also seek fresh ideas and growth. So there might be a lot of green lovers in this group because we're all oriented towards fresh ideas and growth. It's a big part of why we're in this group. They tend to have good taste and deep character and wisdom. The only negative of green lovers is it can be seen as being a little bit too boring because they like stability and predictability. And here's a green room, and this is a brighter green. So there's a little bit of yellow undertone, but it is green, and it's very everything nature. And I actually did this room 10 years ago, and it could be the picture for biophilic design, which is all the rage right now, because it has the woven wood shades, the wood door, there's a big root ball on the kitchen counter. There's plants everywhere, and it's super well lit. So this is definitely an outdoors in kind of space. So biophilic all the way. And then your pink lovers are sweet, kind of vulnerable, sincere, loving, feminine friends. They tend to be more on the feminine, nurturing side, a little more innocent. And pink is a very calming color, so calming that they've even used it in prisons successfully to help calm prisoners down. So they don't use bright pink, they use a soft pink, but it is very calming. The only negative to pink lovers is they can be a little bit on the naive side. I wouldn't tell that to Pink the entertainer, but yeah, that is the one kind of negative. And here is a pink space. Now, this room is not a space I did, full disclosure. I have not done an adult pink room. All my pink rooms have been for little girls, so I didn't have one. So I borrowed this from a friend of mine over on the Gulf Shores. And I just think it's a beautiful space. I think she did a gorgeous job of taking the pink and making it super sophisticated, yet not stuffy. It feels nurturing and just like a place you can settle into and be comfortable. And wow, that view, wow, what a view. So I wish I'd done that space, but that one's not mine. But I do love the use of pink in here. I think it's just beautiful. Purple. So purple lovers, purple lovers kind of like everything luxe, and they tend to, follow royalty and power and nobility. They're spiritual in nature and deeply introspective. Those deep thinkers are often purple lovers. It's associated with wisdom, independence, and creativity, big time. A lot of creative people like purple. The negative of purple lovers is they tend to be a little more introverted. Not that that's a negative, but they're not willing to ask for help. Purple is my favorite color, and I 100% match that negative criteria. I am more of an introvert. I was raised by two hyper extroverts, and my sister is the most hyper extrovert you could ever meet. So I know how to extrovert when I need to, but I'm very happy when the day ends and I don't have to talk to people and I can take a little break, as much as I love people. And I am terrible about asking for help. Makes my husband absolutely crazy. If he was here, he would vouch for that. Purple lovers. So here's a purple space. So this client really loved purple. That's even too much purple for me, and I'm a purple lover, but she loves this space. So again, it's not about me, it's about my clients. She's a writer, and purple helps her feel more creative. And she feels like when she walks into her office, she feels inspired by all the purple and the decor, and it really helps her focus and settle in on writing. So white lovers, there's your color of perfection, of innocence, purity. White lovers tend to like clean lines, tidiness, and they're very faithful as a rule. The only negative is they can appear to be a little bit aloof or boring. I don't think this space is boring. This is a white lover. White is also a tricky color because if you have white on white on white, that was a trend for a while, which is trending away. It's very fatiguing on the eyes. Once upon a time, hospitals were all white, so it looks sanitary and clean. But then they discovered the white fatigued the surgeons and the nurses' eyes, which you don't want fatigued eyes working on doing surgery, right? That is not a good combination. So white needs to be, I recommend balancing it. So here we just balance it with a charcoal tone. So they got their white, but then it's not too much white. Black lovers are your mysterious folks, right? They're very elegant, very a little more formal. They find like they love to go put their tuxedo or their little black dress on and show up at those fabulous parties. Casual, garden parties are kind of passe. They want the fancy stuff. I love working with black as a color because it's all colors. So you can put black in any room whatsoever. You can stick black in and it will work with all decors, all styles, all colors. So I love using black in decor. Love doing a black wall. It's super fun. The only negative is because we wear black for grieving or because of, Darth Vader, there's a symbol of evil with black, but it's not an evil color. It's all the colors combined. It's just a great color to decorate with. And here's a bathroom with black and then paired with really bold gold accents. People will love this or hate this. There's not a lot in between. People love black or they don't in a space, but my client loves it. That's all that matters. And then brown, we're not going to forget the brown lovers. Brown lovers are the salt of the earth. Boy, they are everything organic. They're rugged. They're your cowboys. They're your long distance runners, your hikers that'll go out on the Appalachian or the Pacific Coast trails for months on end. They are solid as the day is long. They know who they are. They're centered and they're justice seekers. The only negative of brown lovers is they can be seen as a little heavy or not seeking fun as much. They get their fun through the environment. And so this is a kitchen I did for an engineer, brown lover, backpacker, runner. He fit all the criteria. I was cracking up. I am not the biggest fan of brown in decorating, but he was so happy with this space. It's ridiculous. He's like my number one fan. And I'm like, okay, thank you. He's super sweet guy, super introverted, but he really likes modern clean lines. Most engineers do. And he really liked all the brown in there. It helped him feel very happy. Gray's been pretty popular for a while. I like to use gray when I'm pairing it with bold colors because it complements them very well, or beige, gray and beige, same way for complementing bold colors. Gray lovers love calm and peace. Gray's been popular because I think the world's been so chaotic. People gravitate, its color trends gravitate with what's going on in the world. We've obviously with the pandemic, all the crisis going on with Russia and China and all the unrest in African nations. And anyway, on and on about what's going on in the world. Gray is calming. So people seek out gray when there's chaos around them. It's very stable. Gray lovers are very stable in their personality, and they are the people you go to when you need someone to compromise. They can see both sides, and they're really good at that. The only negative about gray is it can be seen as being, again, kind of boring or aloof. And here's a gray room I did for a gal, and she just loved her gray. She wanted her bedroom to be super calm, super glam, super gray. It is gray on gray, gray. So she loves it. Again, that makes me happy when my clients love their spaces. I want them, I love that she says she goes in at the end of the day and she just lays down in her bedroom and she just feels the weight of the world come off of her because the space elicits that serotonin response that calms her down before bedtime. And since we all have some trouble sleep, a lot of us struggle with sleep. It's pretty common. Anything you can do to make your space calm in your bedroom might be a way to help. So that was the color psychology part. And before we go on to the big reveal for Amy and Lorraine's spaces, I would like to hear about some of your favorite colors and if you think those descriptors matched you at all. If we could kind of just go around.
When I was designing my space, our space, you have to consider your partner, your husband. And I think is this the discussion part?
Yeah, and then
Sue,
we'll just come back to show
do you,
Amy.
do you
Amy's,
want to just stop the share for a short time during discussion or not?
yeah, there we go.
Okay. I was gonna say that the thing is sometimes you don't live by yourself. So when I was choosing the color, working with Sue, which one, this one, that one, um, we end up choosing the gray, but it has a blue tone to it because their husband, you have to consult, to make sure that both parties like it. So, and then I also have kids and grandkids who come here. So my house is very practical, like even the tablecloths or whatever. You have to consider like some of it. I even use what is it? Not exactly the high-end items because the grandkids gonna mess up, the space or the. So I was just gonna mention that mine is that gray blue tone. It's reflection of this thing in the back here. I like that color, but yeah, you have just to have to consider your living spaces with the people that you live with. That's all my comment. Uh, so who wants to do next? Omeka, are you there? Oh, Amy. I see Amy. I don't know where Omeka is. Omeka is back, but I'll just have Amy and then I'll go to Omeka.
So I love when we talk about all the colors. I actually took screenshots of some of the pages um, that I like. When I'm thinking about colors that I like, I'm a pink person. I love pink. In my clothes, I'm wearing my light pink today. I love my pink. Pink and yellow are my two favorite colors, but I don't think I would decorate with pink and yellow. So then I'm looking around my house, which is, from the 90s, decorated. And I think that every room is basically brown and has pops of little splashes of red. I like I have one wall that's burgundy as an accent wall. I have splashes of things that are in that red tones, red, purple, things like that, burgundy. And I have a lot of plants. I like big windows, skylights. It looks out onto the green. And I like that. So I kind of feel like I'm all over the place. I wouldn't know how to define it.
Thank you. Thank you, Amy. Yeah, Sue, that was amazing. I didn't know you have that color psychology, but that's good. That's a good reference for decorating your house or your office or anywhere. Omeka, you're next. What are your thoughts?
Thoughts. Yeah, I'm about more focused on organization, but I love the different pictures. What was great for me was, um, I guess bringing the outside in or something. The one with the huge window, I was one of my favorites. I don't even remember what color it was, but I'm a fall person, maybe because I was born in the fall. I kind of like warm oranges and yellows stuff like that. With I guess pops of color. I really haven't decorated in so long. I've just been kind of like stay with other people, and so it's been interesting. It's like, okay, you really can decorate and have your own space and your own energy. So it was great for me. But yeah, right now I'm on the organizing tip, so I don't care what color is happening. And I'm moving into someone else's house, so I'm just going in the rooms. I'm like, okay, what colors is my mother? And she's like an African art decorator, antique person. So I kind of like that. So I guess that's browns, and there's still those warm or whatever you call those oranges and browns and stuff. So I kind of like her decorating style. So anyway, I had a house that they had helped me paint like one wall orange, and then there was like white couch, and so that was kind of cool. But anyway, that was great. Thank you.
Thank you,
Sue.
Omega. Yes. I see you as an outdoor person with outdoor colors. But anyway, Lovelyn, you're next.
I don't think I have one color because my house is like a rainbow. The living room is white, the boys' room is blue, girls' room pink. And I think I'm now beginning to drift to gray for my own bedroom. So I can't really say that I can't really stick to one color, but I think I should be a white person because it helps me to see dirt so quickly. But like I said, everyone has a preference and we have to consult like what Rini said. My son likes his room blue, so we can't put in any other color apart from that. So and my other kids pink for their bedroom. So it's difficult, but to me, I think I'm a white person and probably gray. But thank you so much for the photos. I've taken all of them, by the way. I don't know whether I was stealing the photos, but I think I'm going to learn to decorate from them. I was busy with my phone taking the photographs, and I think I will learn from that deco. So thank you so much for sharing.
Yes. Thank
Y'all are
you.
welcome to use any photos. It's fine. Except for that
Yeah,
one pink room. That one wasn't mine. So
that's really good
you can share it with
information.
yourself. Just don't put it on the internet.
No, it's
Can
just for my
maybe,
own consumption.
Yeah, of course.
yeah, you
Thanks.
can maybe post a PowerPoint. That was really quite educational about the color. Um, Thank you, Lovelyn. Let me see who was here from the beginning. Joey, you're next.
Hi, I
Hi,
love
good
your
morning.
presentation, Sue. I really love it. All the photos that you've shown. Just like Amy, my favorite colors are pink and yellow. But yes, if I probably live alone, I decorate my house pink. But I live with four boys and three girls here. So our house is painted white just to make it simple and minimalist. But we had because now the cover is damaged, but we had a red couch, and there's like wood and just like white painting. So that's our house. And I actually love the first photo that you showed, the rainbow colors, the bright colors. I really loved it. I mean, if I'd have my own, I'd probably decorate it that way. It's so vibrant and colorful. I love rainbow. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Really loved it.
Thank you, Joey. That was awesome. Um, I know Maryam said she cannot talk, so Maryam, you can't talk, right? She's packing. So Jane, you're next.
Gee, this is great. What a nice feature to be talking about decorating and colors. And I tend to gravitate towards the off-white, natural tones, earth tones. And for the longest time, I was for years, in the early 2000s and up until just 2 years ago, I was into the jewel tones. Totally, totally changed that and got into the natural tones with a fair amount of blue, gray blue. Started painting furniture with chalk paint, and I love a more natural feel to things. So yeah, I guess that's that down to earth, and I really like whimsical. I'm a painter. Like there's one of my, I don't know if you can see it or not. No, probably not. It's a, there we go. Yeah, it's an owl.
Jane, if you can talk
And,
closer to your
I'm
speaker,
painting. Oh,
because you're
oh, okay. Is it hard to hear me?
yeah, it was vibrating.
Okay, I'll do that. Was it?
It's
Oh,
okay
you
now.
know what? I realized. Is it okay? I'm on
It's
the
okay.
wrong computer. That's why.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, yeah, so I really like whimsical. And I do that in the accents. Um, maybe in my paintings. So thank you. Thanks for being here.
It's happening again, James. So, but thank you. Thank you for sharing. Lorraine, you're next.
So first of all, ladies, I am sorry that I'm late. I apologize for that. And I will look at the recording so that I could see your full presentation, Sue, because I caught the tail end several pictures and they were absolutely stunning, the work that you have done. And I'm just super impressed with your design skills, even for the small space that I live in, because I do live in an apartment and I've lived here 18 years. So I've accumulated clutter over the years. Even though my apartment is neat, I have a lot of stuff. And there's not a lot of room to put everything. So I really appreciate the tips that you had sent me, and I don't want to spoil it because I know that you're going to come back to my space and Amy's space in a bit. So I'll just say I'm just really impressed with all your skills. And for me, my color is, see, I love all the colors of the rainbow, but when it comes to my apartment, I'm only allowed to choose the color that the owner of the building chooses. And because I've lived here so long, when I've painted over the last several years, I've managed to paint my entire apartment white. So I've been really lucky not to have that god awful beigeish, whatever they call eggshell white, when it's not even white, it's like this beige color. And I'm not a fan of beige and brown. So everything is white, and with, basically white and black, with black furniture and then red and gray accents. So that's sort of my color scheme that I have going on, and I'm quite content with it. Even though my wallpaper border is a little bit dated, I still love it. And, like you say, as long as you're happy in your space, that's what matters. So I'm fairly happy here.
Thank you, Lorraine. It's amazing listening to each one of you, how each person is different. So that's why, Sue, you're doing this customization, personalize the space for each individual. Sorry. Yeah, and like I wanted to have an accent color here, to have a darker gray blue, because this is should be an accent wall, but my husband doesn't want that. So like I said, you have to compromise. I said, okay. He said, we just want the same color for this area. I said, okay. That's how it goes. But thank you, everyone, for your input and sharing. So, Sue, I'll give it back to you now.
All right. Okay. So so two brave volunteers, Lorraine and Amy, sent me pictures of their spaces and floor plans so I could do a little 3D design and give them an idea of how their space could look. So let's see, we'll start with Lorraine, her living room. And I didn't realize your walls were that white because in the pictures they didn't look as white. So I apologize, my photo doesn't show them quite as white, but she had some amazing art all over the place. And one of my biggest suggestions to her is to group that art and make it feel more like a gallery. And then she has it's a smaller space and she has a lot of stuff between work and art. And so I really wanted to get a big cabinet for a storage area. Because when you have a small space, you want to have as little clutter as possible. So this was kind of my vision for her space. Really making her art the focus, those beautiful colors in her art pieces. The gallery, of course, I brought in plant because I'm all into biophilic design, but she has currently where that white cabinet is, she has an open bookcase and it's not that big. And I'm like, let's just put a big cabinet there. It becomes a huge storage area. You can even get them with drop down desks. There's all kinds of things out there. But that was kind of how I saw her space. And she also has a treadmill, right? So I just hid it behind a screen. This is the oldest designer trick in the book. You know, when you've got a desk in your living space or exercise equipment, you know, where you don't necessarily want to look at it every day, but there's no place else that fits. Just you can put a folding screen in front of it, and then you don't have to think about it except for when you need to use it, right? So kind of the oldest trick in the book. So there you go. And then I just changed out the draperies to a Roman shade just because she has the electric baseboard heater and Roman shades, and she has a shorter drapery, so it's not going to catch anything on fire. But Roman shades, you can get them black outlined, and when they're up, they look like a pretty little valance, and when they're down, they're very functional. So, and then I put a lighter area rug in there just to lighten up the space some more too. Okay, so that was Lorraine. So Amy sent me a video of her bedroom and a floor plan, and she said everything can go. So when you're a designer and you hear that, you're like, yes, because then you have a blank palette and you don't have to necessarily, like I've had some clients that have, you know, like their Aunt Gertrude's olive green chair that's, you know, sentimental and they want to keep it. And then you have to decorate around that. It's a lot harder when someone's like, oh, I like this kind of design. I like this. And, you know, everything can go. It's like, okay, well, this is a little easier. So came up with what I call a mood board, just pulling different elements together, kind of based on what Amy had sent me. And then if she wants, she knows where to go get these, or I can help her find these when she's ready. I can connect her with some designer pricing, help her out a little bit on money that way. And then there's her space all completed in a 3D drawing. So what I really want to point out about her space is she has really only one wall where she can put the bed due to doors. But she had this one window that's kind of off. She has this window kind of off to the side that makes it tricky because she wanted a reading nook. Sometimes architectural details, you just have to just ignore them. I was going to put a shade on the window, but I was like, let me just show it without the shade for right now. Sometimes you just ignore them and you know what? Put the bed a little bit over it. Sometimes the design rules can be broken because a reading nook was more important. So we balanced out the window with some wood slats to kind of create a little space to the left that's an architectural detail to balance the window detail on the right. And it gave her a reading nook and a space there. So sometimes you just have to break the rules to make your space work for you. It just doesn't always all work 100% the way we want it. And you just break the rules and then you don't worry about it and say, "Ew, I'm a rebel. I broke the rules. Living on the edge now." So there you go. There's spaces, and yeah, that's what I have for you today.
That's amazing how you get to transform the spaces, those two spaces. I mean, you could see the difference. It's like night and day from where it was before and after. And I'm just so impressed with this whole thing. So let's get the feedback. Let's start with Lorraine first, since she showed Lorraine's space first.
So with my space, I was really impressed with Sue's ability to somehow capture in 3D my paintings and move them around. My coffee table, because it is a oval shaped coffee table that's actually brand new. It's only like a year old now. And so it fit in my space because, like I said, I don't have a huge apartment, and I have my living room divided into my workout area and then my living room area. And there's no TV. Well, there is a TV, but it's only for videos, to do my workout videos there. So it's more like a sitting room, not an actual living room where, you would hang out and watch a movie. My TV's in my bedroom, but I was really impressed with how Sue took my existing things and then switched, made a couple of suggestions to just improve the space. I love the area rug. I'm actually thinking about getting an area rug, and that's been on my mind for some time. And where the bookcase, which you don't see, it is an open bookcase, and I'll just show you guys what it looks like because I can do that from here. So I've got my bookcase. Let's see, you can see it. It's pretty there, and then it's got two art things in front of it right now. My son just bought me a 2-piece painting, but I had a filing cabinet there, which is much like what you said, a closed storage space. My filing cabinet's now in my office, so I did do a little bit of rearranging. And then, of course, the cat tree is in front of the window because the cats need to look outside when they're sitting on it. So yeah, so this is like, here you can see behind me, this is my living room over there. But I liked how she did the grouping of the paintings. So I'm actually thinking about rearranging a little bit, taking into account some of her suggestions. And then once I do that, I will take more photos and share them with you so that you can sort of see the after effects. So I really appreciate your expertise, Sue, and thank you so much.
Just a quick tip on area rugs. One way to get a super affordable area rug, if your budget's tight, is consider an indoor-outdoor rug. They're made from olefin, which is a spun plastic, and they're really affordable. And there's some gorgeous, fun designs out there for not a lot of money. Area rugs can range, an 8x10 can be $100 to $20,000, right? There's a big range,
Right.
in how they're made, and that's
I've seen some nice ones for about around the $200 mark, which I could completely afford.
Yeah.
So I might do that, but given the fact that I have cats and my one cat, she has a weak stomach and gets sick all the time, I'm thinking maybe just, until they're no longer here, maybe just getting like an indoor outdoor type of a thing that's easier to clean. Because the carpeting in here, this was the original carpet that the building, like when it was first built. So, I mean, this carpet has not been redone. It's been shampooed multiple times, but it's not been changed. And I'm not, because I don't own the apartment. It's not a condo. I'm not paying to replace the whole carpet in here. So I think the area rug idea, though, is a really nice touch to brighten up the space. And, I'll consider the changing of the blinds as well. I'll think about it. I'm pretty attached to the ones I have now, though, but we'll see. You never know.
Sounds good.
Thank
And
you,
Sue,
Lorraine.
I was so thrilled to get Sue's feedback. Like when the idea popped up and she said, I'll take a volunteer, I was like, oh my God, this is like literally a dream come true. My room has been looking like a disaster for I've been in this house for 30 years, so it's crazy. And when she sent back the design, Sue, I was so excited. It felt like love coming at me, and I really appreciate all your work that you put into making it feel good, and asking me what I liked, and pulling that all together. And I'm holding on to that design. I have a bench. I moved it to the front of the house because it's green and red, and it doesn't fit in my room. So I'm going to get that reupholstered into the lighter color so that I can use it, because I did love a bench, and I forgot like how much I would love to have a bench, and it looked so good in the design. And I love the reading nook. I love the small chairs, the curve of the chairs, and there was just so much about it. It made me really happy. And I actually sold my house this past week. So I'm moving, but I'm going to take that design with me so that I can, you know, put it together in my new space, which will be a little bit smaller, but I want it to have that same energy and feel to it. And you couldn't see in that picture, I don't think, that you put together a lot of greenery, but there will definitely be greenery because I love to have the plants and that outdoor in. It makes me feel very comfortable. In fact, I told my husband, when I get older, all you have to do is put my bed near a window so that I can look out. I need to be able to look out. I would like a flag so I can watch it blow in the wind. And on the wall, I want a picture of the of a bridge all lit up, because I like to see that also. Those are my crazy things. So thank you so much for your design and your time and your color wisdom, and for sharing everything today. And thank you for letting me be an example of what you can do. It really means a lot to me. So thank you.
Amy and Lorraine, thank you both for being brave enough to send your spaces in, and that was very cool that you did that. It's fun. I think it makes it all way more interesting when it's personal.
I do have a question for you, Sue.
Sure.
I don't know that you want to answer it here, but what is like what you did for me and Amy? If you were to do that for someone else, just like a quick, you know, using your 3D program, you know, looking at the pictures of the current space and how it potentially could be, what would your fee be to do another room?
I usually charge $500 a room.
Okay.
So yeah,
Okay.
you guys got a bargain for zero.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's pretty amazing. Because you know, I really would like your feedback regarding my office, because I've got 3 desks in there and it's too much. Like it is too much. And I know that, but I don't know. Maybe you and I should have a private conversation.
Okay, we will.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, this has been an amazing experience, Sue. Thank you so much for your input. It's just to look at those room before and after. It's amazing how little things, you know, it seems like even when you don't have a high budget, you could buy the more inexpensive item, and that color coordination, lighting, curtains, just every little thing, area rugs, can transform the room. It's you just give us so many good ideas, Sue. Thank you so much. We are at the top of the hour. Thank you everyone for your participation here. Sue, I'm gonna give it back to you to say your last word, and then we have to part. But thank you so much, everyone.
Oh, and I thank you all for being such great participants. I loved hearing about your spaces. It's really fun. And yeah, decorating doesn't have to be expensive. Indoor outdoor area rugs and pillows from Home Goods, you know, they can make a difference in a space. So don't ignore yourselves. You're all caregivers taking care of everybody else, but make sure that your space that you come home to makes you feel good, because you deserve that care as well. I'll leave it at that.
Thank you. This has been an amazing session. What do you think, everyone? So with that, we're going to part here. And if you can unmute yourself and say thank you to Sue, and then we'll say goodbye and have a great week and see you next week. So let's just unmute for a minute here.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Sue. That was
Sue.
amazing.
Thank you,
Thank-
Sue.
And we'll see you next week. I'll announce what the next session is in the on Facebook. Thank you again, everyone. Thank you, Sue.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a great day.
And thank you, Rennie.